Hello everybody, got a little bit of a treat for you here, so grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee if you prefer and sit back and enjoy seeing what junk I've recently acquired. Now first off, I've got myself a dog, a bit of a shed mascot. It's alright though, it doesn't need feeding. What do you think of him? It's a brass bulldog. He's pretty cool, isn't he? It's a shame it doesn't say record on it. But he's a nice little mascot for the shed, isn't he? Ugly bugger. Fits in perfect. Now, this is in no particular order. I'll just go through the box of junk at the side of me and you can see what you like. So we'll start off with these. Now, I like anything in a roll or pouch. So this one is old brace bits. From small to large. Let's see what, got any name on there? I can't see it, I don't know if you can. Ridgeway Sheffield. That's a set of Ridgeways and a nice canvas pouch. And this has been someone's general tool roll with an assortment of bits and Allen keys and a cold chisel. Oh, well, I didn't notice that. That's a broad arrow. So this has been a military or a government-owned roll. So originally this would have been a tool set for something. Probably someone took it home with them and started using it for whatever they wanted. So they were two nice rolls. Got this lump of cast iron, which I thought that'd make a good trinket tray, put some coins in it or whatever. It's heavy, you can see the mill marks. So that's useless but interesting, I think. Now this is cool. This is the Bisley rifle vise. AG Parker and Co Limited, Birmingham. So this is a double vise, table mounted, so this attaches to the table. You've got a curved jaw with a felt lined concave for holding gun barrels. And then on the other side, you've got an engineer's vise, which can be swiveled. So if you squeeze that together, you can spin it round. But I just love that hand wheel. So that's a winner for me, definitely. Lovely vise. Can never have too many. So I'll keep telling myself. Just pile up some junk for you to look at. Talk amongst yourselves. So let's work through this mound of junk. This seems to be sharpened like a blade, but it has recesses. I don't know if it's designed for cutting tube or something. So that's a mystery item. If you know what that is, let me know. Some generic spanners for filling the box. This is a nice little adjustable. see if we can get it to focus. Nope, it's not having it. Treated steel forging 6-inch. And this is a Billings and Spencer. Come on. Billings and Spencer, made in USA. Offset adjustable. Don't see many of them over here. And then another unusual adjustable. This one works by, you just push the back, there's a little leaf spring and it auto adjusts. SAFO. Brevet. Made in Belgium. Now this is nice, a nice little boxwood gauge. Glover Brothers wire rope makers. So it's a brass caliper and boxwood rule in inches. That's quite a nice little object. Now this is an unusual clamp. I think it might be for sharpening chainsaw blades or something. You put your bar in there and then attach it to a table, but I'm not 100% sure. Got this nice little book from the Leyland Motors. Lathe Work, a practical handbook for lathe operators. Originally published in 1942 to help the war effort, and it was republished later on to meet post-war demand. So from the 40s or the 50s, and it tells you all the parts of the lathe, the tooling, how to operate it. Has some fabulous diagrams. Could just ponder through this all day. Capstan and turret lathes. Steady rests. Turning between centres. Taps. Reamers. Just a lovely little pocket handbook. All your different angles. Fabulous. Some buffing wheels. It's a nice little tin. Kodak film tin. No film in there. Stanley 199A. And then a bit of new old stock. Stanley craft knife. With 5 different blades in the handle. So there you 5. Isn't that nice in its box? Oh, the other end's open. So I'd say that's from the 70s myself. And there's your blades in paper. And a Stanley scraper. I just liked it because it was in its original packaging. I don't need it. Some clipboard clips. But these are made in England. Now, when did you last see a clip made in England? Replacement faces for a Thor hammer. A little hammer. This is nice, strapped. I think it's only cheaply made, but it's quite interesting. Somebody's decided to mow the lawn. An old straight razor. So doing a bit of the old Sweeney Todd. Extra hollow ground. Army knife. Some other pen knives. Now these are handy. These are little wire brushes. Good for cleaning inside adjustable spanners and stuff like that. I always pick up things like this when I see them. Someone's homemade scraper. I just appreciate it when people take the time to make something. Now we've got a socket set. Heiko, Germany. I think it's got all its original pieces. Might be missing a socket. Oh, needs a bit of oil, I think. And it only has about 3 teeth, but it does make a good clunk. Now let's see what else we've got. There is some star buys, one of which you can just make out here, which I'll have to show you at the end, because you'll have to go freehand. Got a vise. This isn't quite as tasty as this one, but it's unusual over here anyway. It's a Colombian, Cleveland, US of A. It's missing the tool that goes in this kind of hardy hole like you would have on an anvil. Apart from that, it's quite clean. Number 43.5 with its swivel base. Well, that's quite interesting. Not a common vise over here, so it can stay for now. Another big item is this 24-inch backhoe. We know somebody with a lot of backhoes. It's very heavy. I've got the 30-inch one, which is like this, only bigger. And I won't be getting that down just to show you, because they weigh a ton. I got this bench grinder with an interesting handle design, so it engages. But then you let go. And then the handle disengages on its own, so it's not spinning around and catching you on the knuckles. That's a nice, well-built piece of cast iron. Could do with a paint job though, I think. Perfect to sharpen your knives on. Now, if you like the first 2 vices, this one's my favourite. But there's another quite nice one. Somebody come and hold my hernia. That is a Lenin 100 on a swivel. And like lots of the other German vices, it opens where the back jaw is the moving jaw and the front jaw is fixed. So it opens back towards itself. But this is a heavy beast. I think this is going to get mounted to my next workbench and be the user. But it's nice, isn't it? With the dovetails. And the anvil on the back. This is to engage and disengage the swivel. So you push it down to lock it, pull it up, and that's free to rotate on that square base. So usually without the base, see this line here, that's how you'd mount it to the bench. 2 bolts at the front and a bolt in the centre at the back, but this is an additional spacer and a square swivel base for it, so that's quite cool, quite versatile. Just put this back. Sweet Jesus. And now I think we're on to the final box, and then you get to see what that red object is. So let's have a look. First of all, saw these on the boot sale. Cotton buds, extra long, so they're good for cleaning up. A beryllium crowbar. It's quite nice, isn't it? Obviously, don't grind it, but it would look nice with a polish. As crowbars go, that's quite tasty. And this big 3/4 inch drive, quite rusty, brittle breaker bar. If you've got to do some serious work, that will do it for you. So this cabinet maker screwdriver with the black and yellow, which means it's a footprint. Can't really make it out. That needs a good clean. Now this is quite special. This Pyrene fire extinguisher. This is nickel plated brass, and the nickel's in really good condition. So there's your instructions to operate. Turn hand to the left and work like a pump. Nice and simple. Well, that's lovely. Really clean. Unlike most of the stuff I bring back. Pair of scissors. Pair of mole grips. Pretty standard. Another little hand vise. Can never have too many of these. A tub of Optimal Paste White Castrol Assembly Paste for 50p. I'll bring that back with me. Now this, that's a cleaver. I don't know if you can make out the name, but it's a White House who were a big manufacturer in the UK of steel items, mainly hammers, axes, things like that. And this is a butcher's cleaver, so you split down your whole cow with this. That needs a good clean, but that's a hell of a tool. So if I ever need to butcher my whole cow, then I could do it. I quite like this old £1 weight. Thought that was quite ornate. Give that a wire brush, coat of enamel. Away you go. King Dick, as always. Another King Dick, but more of a standard adjustable. Now this is interesting. This is an anchor for rope, tying rope to. So what you'd do is you'd chisel out a hole in your masonry wall, square hole. You'd put some 2 tapered wedges of wood inside the wall, so they'd be where my fingers are, and you'd hammer it in, and that gives you a point to tether your horse to or whatever. And this is probably Victorian, if not pre-Victorian. Just a nice old piece of metal with a bit of history to it. So if you ever need to tether my horse up, I've got just the thing for it. I think the rest, I was about to say the rest of this is junk, but there is a nice little perfect handled screwdriver. Okay, the rest of it's junk. Let's see. Scraper. And Stan's level. I'm sorry, Stan, but I've bought your level. Is my workbench level? Yes, it is. Well, that is a surprise. It was me that made it, so that was a bit hit and miss. A little padlock, Squire. Long copper thumb detector Now this is a good benchmark because the other extinguisher is so clean, and when you look at this one, it's just not. So obviously this is nickel plated, whereas this was just made in brass. But still, look at the difference. This one's had a harder life. This one's like new. It's got that much of a polish. It's showing fingerprints. So, and this one needs a good clean. But they are a nice object. There's just some sockets and a ball bearing. Keep away from glass windows. It's the kind of thing you can put your shed window through. They shouldn't have let me buy that. Right. So that's everything bar my star favourite buy, and for that we'll have to go freehand, I'm afraid. Oh no, there we go. Let's take you off so you can have a proper tour of it. This is a Avery scale, postal scale. And it's in pounds, shillings and pence. It's a postal scale. It's quite nice, isn't it? We'll have a proper look at it now. To weigh £2, and there's a little adjustment hole there to set it. So let's see. Commonwealth, foreign letter and inland. It weighs up to £2. So that's a nice scale. I got that and the 2 fire extinguishers for £20. Now that was a bit of a bargain, because I've seen one of these for £125, which they might be asking too much for, but for 15 quid, I'll take that all day long. Isn't that lovely? Reminds me of a post box. Right, so that's everything for today. Hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.